there. But the half haulage is a staple of catch wrestling. It's a great takedown. Probably one of my favorites for MMA, grappling, and combatives for a couple of different reasons. It gives you great control on your opponent, puts you an easy takedown. It's very similar to Puka Kabbalah as far as the Kali terms go, and but it keeps him away from his weapon side, which is really important. So we tie up, we're gonna go from a 50-50 tie up. That means he's got my neck, I have his neck, I have his arm, he has my arm. The grip here could be here or here, it doesn't matter tremendously for right now. We start from our tie up. When we start tie up, we want head to head. So let's just talk about this real quick. This tie up, when I have my 50-50, we call it that because we're on even terms. I want my head to his head here so I can feel where he's moving, right? So if we're out here and moving around and he drops his level, I can't feel that. By the time I figure out it's too late, it's on my leg. If I'm here, he moves, I can feel that space go. As soon as that space goes, I know, oh, something's coming, right? So as soon as he moves and I feel it, I can react. But if I'm out here and he moves, too late, right? So head to head is really important. That also helped me set things up as far as moving him around and kind of, we call it giraffe wrestling, moving in, move your head, and make him go where you want him. For right now, we're just straight on head to head. From here, I'm going to take my hand from the outside and we're going to inside tie. Inside tie is here, just like that. So I'm going to fan inside, just like we did in the arm drag earlier, in the same movement. Now I'm going to kind of, just like that, fan on the inside, control his bicep. Doesn't have to go super high up here, just here. When I get this, I lift my elbow up. I call this opening the window. So when I open the window, it helps loosen this grip. If he's here, I can't pull this off here. But if I go inside and I get here, now I can move this. Okay, so that's the goal. The goal is to get his hand off my neck. My ultimate goal here is going to be head and wrist control. So when I get here, I'm going to open the window, I'm going to slide down, and I'm going to go to wrist control here. If you miss or lose it, which happens, if I get here and I go, and I missed it, go back to his bicep. His shoulder's not going to be far from here. It's always going to be a situation. If I try to grab his wrist, I'm probably going to miss it 10 out of 10 times. If I grab his shoulder, I'll catch it 9 out of 10 times. And then slide back down, get control of his wrist. All right, so that's just a little bit of a setup for it. So we got a tie up here, no inside tie. Open the window, I'll slide down to wrist control here. From wrist control, I'm going to step what we call half man. That means I'm splitting his body in half. So here, I take a half a step. So we're no longer centered. Here we're straight on, full on. I step half man. When I step half man, I'm stepping opposite the wrist control side. When I do this, I snap his head under like a guillotine, pin his wrist to his chest. I'm going to scoop elbow to elbow, grab his hip. All right, so this is where I want to be. This is the entrance to our half haulage. All right, we'll do the whole thing in a second, but let's get the entrance first. So with an inside tie, open the window, slide down to wrist control. Step half man. From here, here's that giraffe wrestling, right? Moving his head with my head. I snap his head under my arm, keep control of his wrist here. This doesn't let go until I'm ready to throw him. I go elbow to elbow, reach as far hip. This is the half haulage, this is the cow catcher, this is cement mixer. 3 different moves, all work very well. Hand position is different. We go half haulage, this is what I prefer. So when we get this half haulage, we get a lot of leverage in here, a lot of good strong bar here. All right, so when we get this half haulage, the most important thing, put his head on the wrist control side, same reason we did before. If I go to the opposite side and I step onto this side, it takes my back. And here we are again, back to this, right? So it all goes back full circle. But ideally, I get this inside tie, wrist control, I step half man away from the wrist I have, I snap his head onto that side, here. Now he can't take my back because this is stopping him. And I get here. Makes it much easier for me to tackle. All right, let's get the start for this and we'll build on it in a second.